What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is going on? So, all of you guys out there listening, we're back. It's a new year. Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Wednesday's discussion, and then Thursday we're going to try to do Ask Us SP, and Friday we do the weekly rundown where we talk about everything else. Please continue to like, share, subscribe to the podcast, hit a bell or whatever you got to do, whatever services you're listening to. I also forgot to plug last time, if you're listening to us on Spotify, you can also watch the video. So now we have video on LinkedIn, Spotify, and of course YouTube, and then audio wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen to us. So definitely keep that up throughout the new year. Super excited. If you listen to the last episode, I am not rude. two salespeople, but I think you should go back and listen to it. I need your opinion out there. Am I being rude? I'm not gonna give you any context because I want you to listen to the last episode. Without further ado, this episode, I give it to LeVon.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So in this episode, we have a article from the Hacker News. This is from Ravi Lakeshmanan. And basically, it's an article. The article's title is "Researchers Detail a New HomeKit Door Lock Bug Affecting Apple iOS." And essentially, iOS has a pretty much, they call it this HomeKit, which is a software framework that allows iOS users to configure communicate with connected devices and accessories like their smart home. I think it's similar to like Google Home. They have a Google Home where you can connect to your speaker system, or you have Wi-Fi connected bulbs, or you have any kind of automated Wi-Fi connected bolts and locks and things like that. You can use that, use this software to basically control those devices from your iPhone. But essentially, there's a vulnerability, a persistent denial of service that's discovered in the iOS mobile operating system that's capable of affecting devices, and it causes it to crash and reboot and go into a reboot loop upon connecting to the Apple Home compatible appliance. And of course, they dubbed it doorLock, and it can be triggered simply by changing the name of a HomeKit device to a string larger than 500,000 characters. So essentially, this is pretty impactful. Even if you reset your iPhone, it's still going to cause the same effect where you can get into this constant reboot. Even if you try to restore it from a factory reset or what have you. But right now, Apple is actually working on fixing it. They say they can have a fix within, or they're trying to get a fix within early 2022. But it's something that people are going to have to be cautious of. I mean, the way that people are potentially going to attack you with this vulnerability is an attacker may send you a malicious invite to connect to a HomeKit device with an abnormally large string of as its name, and effectively locking you out of your data. It's essentially, it's almost like somebody in the article mentioned that it could be similar to a ransomware attack. It could be set up like a ransomware attack where they can potentially lock you out of your system and you won't be able to get back in without them modifying the HomeKit device name or something to that effect. So you'd be kind of locked out of your system. And even, I guess, even if you log into, apparently you can't even log into your iCloud account. Because it says to make matters worse, since HomeKit devices names are also stored in iCloud, signing into the same iCloud account with a restored device will set off the crash once again, unless the device owner opts to switch off the option to sync HomeKit data. So this can affect you, in a variety of ways. And it's almost like it seems like it's not a surefire way to get around it. It says that iPhone maker has attempted to mitigate the issue by introducing a local size limit on the renaming of HomeKit devices. So, all the iPhone users out there, we may have a couple people on this podcast right now that may be using my iPhones. You guys have to be careful. Just keep on a lookout for crazy invites for home kits that look suspicious, and just be safe until Apple is able to release a patch. Because I can't imagine all of a sudden you can't get into your phone and just constantly rebooting, and it's like nothing you can do about it. But I guess with that, what you guys have? What do you think about this, Ryan? What are your thoughts?
So everybody knows I am an Apple fanboy.
Yeah.
So I'm a little disappointed. I do want to switch a lot of my devices over to Apple for my quote unquote smart home. So I need them to fix this. But it seems rather obscure. Like, why are you connecting to devices that are not your own, basically? So you can kind of avoid it by just not connecting to unknown devices, which you shouldn't do anyway, which we talk about all the time. So I think you kind of get away from it in that way. Now, if someone were to take over one of your devices and then change its name, that may get you, right? So if somebody was able to rename one of your speakers, or try to think of some other devices that you may have in your Apple home, and then you inadvertently connect to your own stuff, because like once your devices have established a connection, then they'll automatically connect when you walk back into the house, right? That could be a potential attack vector, I guess. That would take a lot of work for a hacker, if your stuff is properly locked down. So obviously you make yourself less likely of a target when you use competent passwords and properly secure devices. But I can't, again, we kind of talked about it in the last episode. Stuff like this is harder for us to fall for because we're of the cybersecurity mindset, right? But perhaps you go over a friend's house, or you have a neighbor who has a device that you seen it pops up and you want to connect to it for whatever reason. This could get you hemmed up. And there's really no way to get around it, because you can't see if a device name is over 500,000 characters. It's just not going to fill your screen up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to give you a character count. So you're not going to know. It's just going to have a really long, obscure name that doesn't make any sense. So that should also be a red flag for you. But why are you connected to somebody else's device anyway, though, would be the question. But again, if it's your own device, so somewhere where somehow to be able to get into your home network and then change your device name to above 500,000 characters, then you could be caught up in this. But it's pretty obscure, but it would be very annoying. I'd be very upset.
Right.
Because not only is my device now unresponsive and continuously rebooting, but now you're impacting the iCloud where I keep all my stuff. So that would be no bueno. That would definitely upset me to no end, especially because I'm so dependent on all my Apple devices. So it's definitely something to look out for. What about you, Shannon?
So I do have a question, right? So like I'm still somewhat fairly new to the Apple world, but LeVon, I am going to end up coming home. I'm just trying to get my money.
That's right. Come on home. Come on home.
But so in the article, it says Apple home compatible devices, right? So these aren't necessarily Apple products, right? This is anything that's compatible. So like Apple has gotten to the point in these last few years, at least that I know of, to where they make way for other things, right? Like they do have all the proprietary stuff, but like, so a couple things I have an issue with, right? So Apple is spreading its footprint, right? Like it's going out to all these other countries. Remember, it's one of those things where it may not be built in America, but it was only really used in America type thing, right? For the longest time. Right. But as you start expanding your footprint, these are the problems you run into, right? So this is that whole where people were thinking, oh, Apple's so safe, this, that, and the third. It's like, no, they just had a small footprint, and it wasn't worth it for these people to go and try to do the things that they're doing now. Well, they're making money hand over foot now, right? Because they're like a $3 trillion company now, right? I don't know if you guys saw this recently. I think it was Apple, $3 trillion company, first one ever, right? So they're doing something.
I helped make that happen.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. We know you did. you contributed a few G's to that. I know. But
right.
But so like this is what you get into when you start doing that, right? So it's not necessarily that it's all Apple products, but when it's Apple home compatible products, it could be stuff from other people that just may not be as secure in their devices as Apple may want to be with all their proprietary things, right? But when you grow, these are the headaches you have to deal with that as well, right? Like, come on over to where everyone else is. The second thing that kind of pisses me off with this, though, they knew about this back in August, right? They knew about this back in August, right? So there's been several updates since then. I remember one time, I don't know if it was going from 15 to 15.1 or 15.1 to 15.2. It was within like a week of each other. I had an update, you know what I mean, that came out.
I think that was an emergency push because something else happened.
Right. Yeah. So you mean to tell me in all this time you haven't addressed this yet? Like, you knew about it, right, since August. So we're looking at like 4 months now, right? That's what upsets me more than anything, is that you've known this is a thing, and it's like, you can't charge people all this money, for your product and not take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just the fact that they waited so long and we still don't. Like, after I read this, I went and checked. I was like, well, shoot, do I have an update? You know what I mean? Like, maybe they put one out and I missed it. You know what I mean? And I didn't. But I don't have the Apple Home stuff either, right? But like, I'm always checking for updates, and it'll automatically download. I don't have it always automatically installed. So, but yeah, those are the two things that kind of, you grow big. This is the headaches that come with it, right?
Right.
But if you're going to do that, you need to make sure to stay on top of it. And August just seems a little too long for you to have known about this and got to this point. They didn't even give, like you said, LeVon, they didn't even give like a definitive time frame. They just said early 2022. You know what I mean? What is early? What is your definition of early? My definition of early is January 1st through the 3rd. Like, you should have had it already.
Right. Right.
Like, you're gonna tell me March, but like, oh no, it's still early. Still the first quarter, right? I don't know. That's what kind of upset me a little bit with this one. But it's also why I'm coming on home, LeVon. All right.
That's right. Come on home.
Hey, let everybody know.
Coming on to HomeKit. That's what you're doing.
No. HomeKit.
But so I have seen the badge on, like the HomeKit badge on television, sound bars, things of that nature. So there are other devices out there that could hem you up, right? But again, why are you connecting to unfamiliar devices? Would be my question. Like, I can get that some of it could be ignorance, or like perhaps you see something pop up, you just want to explore or play around with it, what have you. But I don't have a tendency to connect to other unknown devices. And then again, I don't have any of these HomeKit devices because it's fairly new. So like, I don't have, I guess, the most up-to-date electronics right now. So I don't see things pop up in my own home. And then I've never been over somebody's house where the TV's invited me to connect to it, or the soundbar's invited me to connect to it. So I don't know if that's because I disabled a feature, or like, do you have to go looking for it to prompt it? I have no clue. I'm fairly ignorant on HomeKit. But it was something I was going to start to delve into when I did get home, because I own a lot of Apple devices, but only 2 speakers. So in the future, when I upgrade the TV or I get a new sound bar, like those would be the things I'll be looking for to have the badge. So I definitely do want them to fix this. I'm not switching. They got me. Like, I'm in the ecosystem hard. So I'm near to the ride or die. But yeah, just for people out there, just be on the lookout. Like, don't connect to unknown devices, especially with obscure names. When they said that it could be akin to ransomware, my only not even caveat, like the only thing I don't believe it to be akin to ransomware, because the end game is not to extort you in any way. It's to cause disruption. It's a jerk move. Like, they can't, like, once you receive this, you're pretty much screwed, because it affects your iCloud. So like, that device will be saved into your iCloud if you have that feature enabled. And now every time you connect to your iCloud, it will cause disruption again. So there's no key for you to buy that will fix you. You're out of luck.
I think where they're trying to connect these dots on this, right, is that they could take control of that device, but then you've lost access to your stuff, right? Like, you want to get back into your iCloud again, right? right? Some people are just like, I have everything there, right? Like everything I do,
But
it automatically.
yeah, but you can't though. Like it's more like catching a virus than anything else. Like because it's going to you establish connection. Let's say like the TV. Like this is my understanding, right? I'm just trying to brainstorm out loud. You connect to a TV. The TV has an obscure name, and then it causes like so. First, your phone is going to remember that device. It's going to store that name into your iCloud, and then it's going to cause your phone to crash and reboot indefinitely. You will factory restore your phone, but the next time you connect to your iCloud, you will crash and go into a loop again. So there's no recovery for someone to provide you. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing they can do for you at that point. They've caused the denial of service indefinitely.
I don't know if I read in an article or not, but I'm assuming that the person that connects you to that device could potentially change the name of that device themselves, so that like
right, but it's still in your iCloud though. You can't go into your iCloud because you can't connect to it without causing the loop. Is the way I'm interpreting it.
But I'm thinking like if it's changed, if they change it wherever it's connected to, like, you know, I don't know, like you change the device name and then I'm assuming that it synchronizes with iCloud. Like, I don't know if the iCloud is like, I don't know if it depends on your phone to be connected to the device to be connected to iCloud, or if the device itself can connect to iCloud without using your phone.
No,
as
it
a
would,
medium.
yeah, it would go through you to get to the cloud.
Okay.
They may be thinking it's a pivot point, right? Like, and they're not, and nowhere in the article does it say they're doing now, like what I'm saying that can be done, but they may be thinking that it could become a pivot point, right? So like if it's your device, you can control it and you may be able to have access to, you know, somebody else's phone or do whatever. But I don't know. I think we're just because we've been doing this for over a year now. I think we're just thinking the worst of everything. Like
right.
like this is how you can do this, that,
we jump straight to
right,
straight to the bad stuff. Well, yeah, it just seems just disruptive. It doesn't seem like they can extort you.
Profit doesn't like
from
profit from it.
Yeah, for profitable. But I mean, just being disruptive is enough. You know what I mean? Like I would be very, very angry. Like that, it takes a lot to factory reset your phone. Like there's a lot of work that's involved. So I mean, like, why are you doing that? Just to be a jerk, I guess. And the time it would take, like you'd have to save a string of 500,000 characters and then copy and paste it onto your device. Like that's not a mistake. You didn't like, oh man, I didn't mean to name it that. Like, no, you did.
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking too that potentially, I mean, obviously we're somewhat security focused, so we're not really most likely. I think the common person won't get caught up by this like attack,
right.
But I can imagine like a malicious person sending you an email that says, hey, if you want to win this amount of money, add this new device. We have a new device that you can connect to that'll give you access to whatever feature on your iPhone. Just add it to your account and you'll be good. And then all of a sudden your phone is in an unstoppable loop. But that's just my thoughts as far as how somebody would try to catch you with this. Like, and right. Obviously anybody, there's somebody out there for everyone. I guess somebody's gonna get caught.
Yeah, that's true. Like I can see kids doing it, right?
Yeah,
like a kid connected to a device they don't know,
right?
And most likely, like if it's a small child, then they share iCloud with you, because effectively it's your device, and then you'd be very upset, and then they'll be very upset because their iPad doesn't work anymore. So,
yeah, right.
Everybody's upset now.
Yeah.
I'm all for helping people, but I still haven't got my $2 million from that last Nigerian prince I helped.
Right, me too.
Right. So yeah, so I can see the domino effect in that way, which would definitely be upsetting. So I'm sure they'll fix it. Like there has to be a simple way to stop that from happening. You would think, like if it's not necessarily pushing you a patch, it's potentially pushing out mandatory patches to HomeKit devices where they're capped at 499,999 characters. Like whatever it takes to push the line back, you think they'd be able to do. But I say that I'm not a developer, so I'm sure it's more difficult than what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and land this plane. Apple forever, Apple for life. Please continue to like, share, subscribe for more of this Apple goodness. Hit up the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, where you get to all our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and Clubhouse. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.